You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Joining us right now is the president of the Detroit NAACP, Wendell Anthony. Reverend Anthony, how you doing?
Doing good, Roland. How you doing, man? I miss seeing your ascot. You just got on a regular TV.
Well, you know, I was on the plane, so you know we had to sit in here. Look, you're gonna do branding of your show. That's what you got to do. So you know that's how it works.
I understand. No problem, my brother.
Let's talk about this particular campaign here. Obviously, it's about getting people focused on the election, whether it means going in person, that means whether it's early voting, whether it's also mail-in balloting. I was talking about what Republicans were doing in these other places, but the same thing happened there in Michigan, where voters went to the polls to say enough with gerrymandering. And what did the Republican legislature do to say, the hell with the voters?
All right. Well, it's a critical situation, Roland, and I was listening to your guest prior to this segment, and you're absolutely correct. The bottom line is this: if our votes were not so important, they would not be doing the dirt that they are doing. In Michigan, I have received robocalls at my home discouraging me from voting, telling me that if I mail in my vote, then I could be subject to all my privacy stuff being taken away, my credit card information, et cetera. You have a cadre of people who are enlisted to do that. Donald Trump Jr. has indicated they're trying to enlist 50,000 people to come into urban areas and other communities to discourage people from voting. You just talked about the fact that the U.S. Postal Service, my man, has taken out machines and have tried to slow down and postpone the voting process between getting your absentee ballot applications and submitting them. That's why we're saying in Michigan, vote early and vote now. Don't wait. Take your stuff to the poll. What we have done is that we have 1,000 mailboxes relative to the drop boxes all around Michigan. We have several in the city of Detroit where people can take their ballots and put them into the box, and they can do it right now. We started early voting earlier this month. We started to educate and to mobilize folks. You just ran a video about Take Your Souls to the Polls program. We're doing that all over the state, and you've seen it in other parts of the country. We are not taking this for granted. I don't care what the polls say, Roland. I don't care how many points they say Biden and Harris are ahead. We cannot be bamboozled. We cannot be fooled by that. We don't want to be subject to the Hillary syndrome, taking this for granted. Everybody got to get in this game. Judges are on the line. Your freedom is on the line. Your right to choose is on the line. Your respect is on the line. The Supreme Court definitely is on the line. That's why they're trying to jam this woman on the court right now. And police reform is on the line. Our very lives are on the line. And I don't know about you, Roland, but I ain't going back to the plantation, brother. I've made up my mind. Before I be a slave, I'd be buried in my grave and going home to my Lord and be free. I'm not going back. I'm not going to accept second, third class citizenship. We fought too long, too hard, too deep, too much for us to turn back now. That's why it's important to get busy, get on it, and then not turn back.
One of the things I do want to talk about, and again, this is part of the deal there. I've been looking at polling data, how tight the U.S. Senate race is there in Michigan. But here's what I find to be interesting. So John James, who comes from a prominent family there in Michigan, mom and dad are Democrats. Go to the page, please. This is his website. I guess John James doesn't want anybody to know that he's a black Republican. If you go on his website, he has Republican nowhere on the website. I understand that his commercials and billboards in Michigan, he doesn't even mention he's a Republican, and that he also, this is the same person who previously said that he supports Donald Trump to 2,000%. Is John James playing the okie doke against black folks in Michigan? What's happening in your state?
Well, I think he's really trying to manifest Ralph Allison's Invisible Man, but from a different perspective. We know who he is, and we know who he ain't. And he is not for African Americans to the degree that we need to have policies and programs that are structured to improve our quality of life. This cat has not done anything in Michigan or in Detroit that would elevate him to the position of senator. He has not been a block club captain. He's not been a precinct captain. He's not been a state rep or state senator. He's not been a congressperson. He ain't been a preacher or a teacher. He's been an Air Force helicopter pilot, and he's been blessed by a family that has been blessed by virtue of them getting opportunities that groups like the NAACP and the Urban League and others have pushed for to make black economic development some sort of equity in our nation, in our city, in our state. So he's been blessed like that. And the fact that he wants to end our health care, the fact that he wants to support Donald Trump 2,000%, not 200%, not 100%. He said 2,000%. And the only reason he's not showing up with Trump now because he's reading the tea leaves, and it might not be in his advantage to hold on to the coattails of Donald Trump. But the reality is we cannot hold on to his coattails because he is not in the interest of our community. He's antithetical to what you and me and everybody in our community would need. He does not support the George Floyd Justice Bill. He does not support reform. He does not support the Supreme Court jurists being held over until after the election and the next president is elected, even though they did the dirt on Merrick Garland. He does not support what we support, Roland. You know the slang. Even though you might be the same skin, that don't make you my kin. Somebody said the other day that this was a historic election with this first African-American potentially to be a senator from the state of Michigan. Well, Clarence Thomas was somewhat historic, but his election or selection was horrific because his programs, his voting record has been devastating to our community. We already got a senator by the name of Tim Scott, down south from South Carolina. Look at his voting record. We don't need another Tim Scott. We need another Thurgood Marshall on the court, and we need another Kamala Harris in the Senate and Cory Booker. We don't need a John James, and that's not the NAACP talking because we don't endorse nobody. But you asked Reverend Wendell Anthony what he thought Roland Martin. So that's Reverend Wendell Anthony talking relative to what we need to have going forward in the state of Michigan.
This is, of course, again, when you start looking at how these races are going, I saw some polling showing that 17% of black men in Michigan are supporting James. What is, again, as somebody who's there, what is Senator Gary Peters doing to reach core voters, to get black support? What is his agenda for black folks in Michigan?
Well, I think that obviously he has to increase it. 17% is not a lot, but it's too high. There should not be 17% of us doing what we see relative to that poll. But I think black people, as you know, Roland, we who have not had the privilege of having so too many representatives at the highest levels of office in this nation, we gravitate towards blackness. And what we think, just because this person comes out of our community, it might be in our interest. But we know that's not always the case. The bottom line is this. Gary Peters supports health care, the Affordable Care Act. He wants to keep your children on to your health care program through the age 26. The other people want to take them back to age 18. Gary Peters supports pre-existing conditions as the condition to determine whether or not you are qualified or still should be eligible for health care. The other people are in court right now to try to disconnect and take that away. Gary Peters supports the George Floyd Justice Act that is put forward by the Congressional Black Caucus and the Congress The other people do not. Gary Peters wants the Supreme Court jurists to wait until after the election of the president. The other person does not. Gary Peters wants to make sure that we have testing, that we have tracing, and that we deal with this resolution of this situation that has caused 217,000 people to die, and to wear masks, and to make sure that you are observing physical distancing and all scientific protocols. The other people do not. They are led by a person who does not want to wear a mask, who thinks it is a hoax, who does not pay the science, who wants you to drink Clorox and bleach, who does not think that he is spreading this virus with a super virus running around the country. And so when you look at the record, look at the policies, you have one person over here that is working in your interest, and you have another person over here that don't give a darn about you and your interest. So it's really clear what you're going to do when the vote comes to you.
Reverend Wendell Anthony from Detroit, I certainly appreciate it, sir. Thank you so very much. I'm actually looking at putting together... Huh? Say it again?
We finished already?
Hold on, say it again? They talking...
I said we finished already.
Yeah, we
finished?
Yeah. You use all your time talking. I only got to ask 2 questions. I'm actually working on, guys. I got it. I'm actually working on putting together something. I'm trying to get to do a broadcast there in Detroit. I actually reached out to the Peters folks. Want to be able to interview him, talk about some policy issues, and so would love to. I'll hit you back on that. That's when I called you yesterday, looking to put that thing together. Because I'm trying to do something in Mississippi, Atlanta, and also South Carolina.
All right, bring that ascot when you come.
Of course, I'll do that. You have the Gators to go with it.
You know I do.
Yeah, I know you do. Reverend Andy, thanks so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, brother.
All right.
All right, folks. Back to our Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
All right, the folks at Seek.com, black-owned company founded by Mary Spio. They, of course, a virtual reality company. You can check out their content at Seek.com, CEEK.com. You can do so, of course, with these VR headsets. You can look at it, of course, on your regular device or your pad or your computer. But if you want to experience being in the room, you can use this headset right here. All you simply do is just pop in your cell phone in here, pop it on, and then put this headset on, and you can literally experience their content in virtual reality. And so allows for you to do a 360-degree view of the room. But also, folks, they have the 360-degree 4D headphones right here. These are Bluetooth headphones. They have complete surround sound in terms of as you hear the particular music. Gamers love them as well when they're playing their games. And so it's just phenomenal bass in these headphones as well. You can get one or both devices at Seek.com using this promo code RMVIP 2020, RMVIP 2020. So we certainly thank the folks at Seek.com for being a partner with us here at Roland Martin Unfiltered.